Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Sky-Byte. You can see him there in front of the box. We'll go ahead and put him off the side real quick and take a look at that box. And yep, it is a Age of the Primes box. So of course, you got the Transformers logo and Age of the Primes and the little gold, the kind of gold band there, Hasbro and his name right there. 28 steps and you know, like artwork of him in robot and well, shark mode. And you got the window right there. Right here you got Sky-Byte and Takara Tomy. On this side you have, hey look, there's robot mode for Sky-Byte. On this side you have the line-wide artwork for the Primes right there in the Voyager class. And down here, of course, you have some manufacturing details and what's included, and of course on the back you have some product shots and copyrights and warnings and everything. So there's the box, and of course with the box you have, hey look, the instructions, which instructions are alright. There's definitely a part which I feel like it's like really easy to kind of goof up in the transformation, just because it's kind of you got to do things in a very specific order, or else it's going to be like unpleasant to say the least, because you have to move things in a very yeah, I'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, Sky-Byte here, yeah, you may seem a little incomplete. That's because there's parts separate on the in the figure. Of course, you got these bits, which are, well, bits of the shark and the shoulder pads. Make sure for it to work correctly, these little pointy bits right here have to be facing forward. So well, like this on the little pegs right here, which just peg on, real simple like that. Is easy if that's the other thing about it. If the transformation, these are the parts that kind of get in the way the most right here, these bits. If they do get in the way, you can't just pop them off. So that's one thing you do. And also there's a sprue, which on already you can see is already cut. Yeah, they including a sprue now, which is not the only thing figure releasing this year with a sprue. I believe the 4-pack, the multi-pack coming to Target with Horrible, and it has the sprue for Horrible's horns, which yeah, I think I might review that one too. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, you have to cut the fins out. And I think the reason here is because in the past we've encountered things where nearly symmetrical parts, you know, parts are almost identical but are kind of slightly different from each other. We've gotten, I believe, it was Legacy, I want to say, was it Bombshell? Like, I think it was Legacy Bombshell was the problem. I don't remember, but they had like two parts which are almost identical but not quite. And so because of that, people like me got two of the same part, which was not supposed to. So because these are, you know, almost the same but not quite, you can see that there's differences between them. They want to make sure you got both of them. So yeah, you're going to have to cut them off the sprue. Not a big deal. They're already somewhat cut in such a way that pulling them off won't be difficult. But yeah, again, these kind of go on back here like that. However you want to do that. But yeah, they just go on this side and this side. Yeah. I can't remember exactly which way they want me to do. How they would just show you. It's I think it's like that. Yeah. You can see, yeah, more or less. The one with the serrated blade goes on his left side. There you go. Yeah, you have to do that out of the box, but it's, you know, not a huge problem. Just a peg, you know, not really a huge problem. But yeah, just something to do out of the box. But once you do that, yeah, you got Sky-Byte, which, well, he looks pretty cool. He looks very close to the, well, animation Sky-Byte, which is great. Got this very nice, you're gonna get in closer. You got, of course, his face, which, you know, only Mother could love. His big old, like, jagged teeth right there, red eyes, gold face, massive fin on his head. Of course, again, the massive shoulder pieces. And also on my comments, this is a very, very gorgeous blue, which is like, it's very purplish, and it's so, yeah, it's the blue is very purplish in its details. You got, of course, it's gray and silver and light blue and red and stuff, and the purple. No translucent bit anymore right here, but you know, again, animation accuracy dictates it's not going to be translucent. You got the bits of these like this kind of goldish yellow on the figure as well, and more the dark gray, the blue, and that gorgeous blue again, and more silver. Some bits of like bone white and whatnot. And he's got a bit of backpack, but nothing too egregious, honestly. It's not too egregious, but he does have a bit of a backpack there, so you know, just an FYI on that. But yeah, he generally looks really good and fairly animation accurate. We like it. He's a really good looking figure in general. The thing is also on top of that, mind that there's definitely some parts which, like the head platform here was not tabbed. Nothing. This stuff, like all this stuff, was not tabbed and pegged in all the way on mine out of the box. So I had to do some adjusting, but you know, it's not too it's not too horribly difficult to figure out. And usually, if you do your first transformation, you figure out, oh, that part's supposed to go here when it's in your robot mode. Okay. Like yeah, getting this up and snugged up correctly and like this all tabbed in properly on is kind of a little bit annoying, because out of the box is probably not correct. But anyway, articulation wise, he's also pretty good. Head is on a ball joint. You got left and right. You got up and down. You got Weirdly, no wiggle. Well, not really much of wiggle. There's a little tiny bit, but really not much to really make a difference. The shoulders pads here can go up and down right here. Then you can rotate as well, which is good for the rotation of the shoulders. We go all the way around. Just got to watch the things. Outward, they only go so far because of molding. Although there's that transformation joint. So yeah, if you want to really go out, you can undo the transformation joint a little bit. But the problem is, well, it's probably going to just flop down. It's not going to hold in place. So just know that. You do have, of course, bicep swivel right there on both arms, right above the elbow. You got elbow joints, which are about 90 degrees. And well, the thing is, because of how they work, they also can go either direction. And there's actual, not it's a wrist swivel right here. It's actually at the wrist. There's a wrist swivel right there. And I guess this hand can do it, this transformation joint, but still, this hand can move in and out as well. And over here at the claw can also swivel. And these claw bits right here can move up and down. And this bit right here can move up and down, so, and this one as well. All this stuff can move up and down, so, is that these cannot move forward and back though. So, if you're going to use the claw bit, you kind of have a little bit of a thing like that. But, there's that. Of course, right here, you do have a waist swivel right there, if you like. Yeah. Waist swivel right there, unhindered, thankfully. Hips are, go about that far forward. Not that far, but, back that far. Of course, hits the backpack outward. You got a lot, actually. You have a thigh swivel right there. Knees can go that far. Before you've done transformer, you can do that, but that's going to look bad, honestly, so I wouldn't personally. And here down here at the feet, you do have ankle tilts, and as well, you do have a toe joint that goes down, although there's a click point because of how it transforms and to lock it in place. So yep, that's the articulation. Really good overall. I guess there's also this stuff back here. You can, I guess, twist these right there because they're just pegs. So, you can twist those. But yeah, overall articulation's pretty good. So you got all that stuff articulation-wise, which is really good, which works really well overall. Of course, only thing I would say is maybe the shoulders are a little limited on the outward, but it's not too bad. He also comes with this little gun thing, which double-barreled gun thing, which you got a couple options there. Of course, you can peg that in his hand. Although weirdly enough, it's a bit snug on mine. You can peg that in his hand if you want, like that. You can hold that, or getting this out of his hand. Again, it's very snug. There's a peg hole here, but this is the way this is designed. It's not going to work. For storage, back here in the shark mouth, right here, there's a couple. I don't know how to see it, but there's a couple like tab things right there, and you can see there's a couple slots right there in the gun. You can basically store it in there. One thing is getting it in there is kind of difficult just because it's hard to see what you're doing. But yeah, you can basically get it in there. You get those slots over those tabs in the mouth, and you want to make sure it's also centered as much as possible as well, so it's not going to work right. And now, of course, now that I've figured out how to do it myself, of course, on camera, I'm going to struggle a bit. Yeah, it's going to fight me a lot on the camera. And that's not quite centered. There we go. Yeah, goes in there like that, and now it's stored away. So not bad. That, although just a little tricky to get it in there, just because, well, the dark plastic actually makes it hard to see. Honestly, you can also fold this down if you want. Don't want this. If you don't want the shark head sticking out, you can fold it down a bit as well. Just kind of however you want to do that. So yeah. Yeah, my only complaint, my only complaint is that the weapon storage is a little bit of a pain, and the shoulders are a little limited just because of how they work. But generally, he's pretty solid, and as a robot. The thing is, the comparisons, and to preemptively just say it, I don't have any other Sky-Bytes, unfortunately. I don't have the original. I don't have the Thrilling 30. I don't have a lot of Predacons or whatever for the original stuff, but this one, I guess one. Here's Galvatron, original RD Galvatron, just to give you an idea there. Kind of a bit, definitely not quite sized properly. Galvatron kind of towered over Sky-Byte, so this isn't quite right, but there you go. For more modern stuff, here's Scourge, the Velocitron Scourge, who feel like, overall, that's pretty decent scale in its own right. There we go. It's pretty decent scale in its own right, I guess, more or less. About the same height. He might be a little bit shorter. That. Here's a sideburn, you know, the recent one again. Shady there. Of course, the good usual, just because here's a SS86 Optimus, just to give you an idea on that point. Because why not? Here's HasLab Omega Prime, towering way over him. So, what's your head doing? Towering way over him. So I'm not sure. I think that actually might be closer to correct scale, but I'm not 100% certain. It's been a bit since I've seen the cartoon, but yeah, I just know he was pretty tall compared to Sky-Byte. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, it's robot mode stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and get him transformed into shark mode, and yeah. So first things first is getting this right here, the claw here. What you want to do is make sure these claw bits are straightened out, and then take these golden bits and just kind of fold them up like that. And we're just gonna leave that for now. Right here, what you want to do is take these and move these back a bit like that. And then back here, what you want to do is untab these gray bits right here, like so. And then under here, this right here, you can see these tabs. I just pulled it, undid it a little bit, but you see right here, this bit right here untabs from the gray bit right there. And then that lets you also pull away the head platform as well, because that tabs in the chest. And you see that brings it all down like that. Like that, see? And you might also want to start getting this kind of straightened out a little bit too, for preemptively. But yeah, you get that. And right here, what you're going to go ahead and do is here at the arms, you want to untab this. You want to untab that from the torso, slide it back, and bring it up like this. Make sure the arm's also straightened out. And then the same thing on this side. You want to untab it from the torso, but then slide it forward and bring it up like that. And then from here, what you want to do, getting up this a little bit here, you want to then rotate this arm like this, and then this arm like this. And you take the fist here, you fold it down. If the fist goes in here, and there's a tab here which goes in a little slot there below the hole, like that. And make sure this is all straightened out. Then right here, you want to take this and rotate it like that, so the fin looks like that. Okay. From here, what you want to do, further bring this down, and then this right here, you want to rotate these up like this. This could be the annoying part. Make sure this comes out all the way down. There's another tab and slot right here, so yeah, making sure this comes all the way down. Go ahead and bring this up right here. You see this tab right here will go into this little slot right here, and this will go. This right here is supposed to go over this tab right here. Be a bit annoying the first few times you do it too, because it sometimes doesn't seem to want to actually tab in. Yeah, you can bring it up and tab it in, and then also tab together right here with the head right here. Make sure the head is straightened out as well. All tab together like that, forming pretty much the back half of the shark. Anyway, coming down a bit. What you want to do here is nice thing is you can leave this gun here if you want. Yeah, take the feet here and kind of fold them up like this. And then this bit right here, you can see there's tabs right here. There's little slots right here on the back of the legs. You want to go ahead and tab the legs in those slots. Like that. And like that. And then right here, take that little kneecap piece. You want to untab the shin from that and bring it back. Bring it back like this. And this right here, there's little tabs in the little slots in the thighs, and these tabs right here will go in there. Like that. Nice and clicky too. Bring it back and again tab that in like that. Right here, you take the feet and tab them together like that. That forms the shark mouth. And this, you want to make sure to bring this down in such a way. Yeah, you see this bit. You want to make sure this hinge comes up in such a way that fills in the gap. It goes over top like this, and that actually it comes over top. And you can see, it just comes over top of that, like that, right there. And then right here, what you want to do is you want to slide these parts out. You want to slide that out and rotate it around like this, and then just push it back in, and they'll tab in to the side. You see there's that slot right there, and there's a tab, that tab right here. So yeah, you see, you pull that out, rotate it around, and again, you can see that tab right there will go line up with that slot right there in the leg, and then just push it in like that. And the final step, of course, right here is then to take the fins here and rotate those around. And with that, once you have that all tabbed in, you now have Sky-Byte in his shark mode. Hooray. Sky-Byte here, actually, well, once you are all said and done, it's actually a pretty decent shark overall. Again, this is the whole, it's, based on the Transmetal 2 Cyber Shark, which, had the whole, kind of, cyber Transmetal 2 detailing stuff. So you got really nice, again, you got this really nice, vivid, vivid blue with some kind of hints of purple to it. You got all this silver paint, kind of with all this mechanical detail picked out and everything, all this, stuff, just mechanical bits, including on the, shark bit right there. You got the red eye picked out right there. You got this teeth picked out in silver. Again, you got the red eye. It's a little bit different on this side because it's all, it's asymmetrical in the detailing and stuff. You got to see all this stuff. You even see the gunmetal-ish colors like right there as well. You got the kind of holes in the fins, and yeah, I mean, right here, this is kind of this. It's a little bit like, oh, because the shark bit just kind of cuts off, and then you got this obvious bit right there. But considering how it transforms and everything, it's actually not too bad. It's almost like basically they had to kind of peel away the rest of the shark bit right here because it kind of works in that regard. And yeah, you kind of see this kind of Sky-Byte just kind of folded up underneath, but all things considered, this is a pretty decent little shark. I say little, but it's actually a pretty good size. Pretty decent. I think my only real complaint is there's like no real there's no like port or anything down here for, or maybe this, except for maybe that. You'd have to do some sort of 5mm adapter for a port so you can, I guess, fly, because Sky-Byte could fly, because otherwise he's kind of relegated to the ocean. That kind of limited his role, which would have been bad, because Sky-Byte was kind of great in the cartoon, but yeah. That's the only thing is, I wish there was some sort of port for a flight stand, but you have to kind of make do with this, and my worry would be, of course, it's so far back that, yeah, he's just going to do that, unless you have you'd have to have some sort of weird custom port, custom thing or something. But generally, it looks pretty darn good overall. Just the only thing I would maybe complain about is just, this very abrupt cutoff right here, and there's nothing really you can do about that. Almost wish there's some sort of fold-out bit right here, but that also might have interfered a little bit with some articulation stuff, because he does have a degree of articulation in this mode as well. I mean, again, in this, you can swim with it. This goes back and forth, both of them in tandem. Of course, this can rotate still, and these, you can still move these fins as you want right there. So there's how that. This can't really move. The head's pretty much locked in place. You can spin these around, but yeah, they can't really move forward, back, or anything. The jaw can open, and can open pretty hard too, and of course, the head can move down too, which yeah. It's just, it kind of seems too bad. You can't really move the back piece like this either. You can't really. I mean, you can kind of move it a little bit, but not a whole lot. You can't really move it a whole lot to make him look like he's doing this kind of posing or whatever. But it's not too bad overall. And yeah, the thing is, of course, the gun piece, which again can still store in there, can also do something else, which is you pull it out, and these slots right here, and you can use these tabs on here to do that. Now he's got a, I guess, mouth gun. And also, if you do remove this thing, his shark mouth can close a bit more. You can actually close it a lot more. Yeah. So, just that's an FYI. Yeah, if you have the gun in his mouth, you can only close the mouth so far because this stuff kind of interferes with it. But yeah, it's actually overall not a bad shark mode. I'm not really going to do any comparisons in this mode either because, well, I don't have any other sharks, and comparing a shark to a bunch of vehicles seems a little silly. Yeah. So I don't really have any comparisons for this mode. Sorry, because again, don't have any other Sky-Bytes, and yeah, it just seems a little silly compared to other vehicles. But yeah, still pretty neat though overall. So yeah. So yeah, the other thing is, because of that, I can't really compare. So that's one thing, is I can't really give you a good idea if it's a good replacement for the previous Sky-Bytes. From what I've seen though, a lot of people who have the previous, say the Thrilling 31, have said this is a uniformly better figure than the Thrilling 31, which, okay, I believe that. I don't know if it's better than the original RID one / Transmetal 2 Cyber Shark. I don't know. It might be, it might not be. I think possibly just from a posability standpoint, it probably is a bit better. But yeah, I don't know how that one transformed or anything either. I think it might be similar to how this guy transforms. But this is a pretty, as someone who's never owned a Sky-Byte before, this is a pretty solid figure. I really do like it. My only real complaints are honestly just the limited shoulder movement, and getting this thing to be the gun stored away can be just a little tricky. just kind of nuisance, at least for me personally. It's a little bit of a nuisance getting it all lined up perfectly. And sometimes the when you're transforming, the shoulder pads right here can get a bit in the way, but that's easily alleviated by just remove the shoulder pads entirely. Just remove them and you can plug them back in after you got stuff moved if they're really getting annoying. Yeah, and I don't really have any other complaints other than that. It's a very solid figure and I really like it. It's that simple. I just really like this shark bit. And I guess the other complaint would be just I wish it had some sort of flight stand compatibility, or better, I guess, flight stand compatibility, which just kind of sucks to me that this doesn't have. So yeah, that's those are my real major complaints. But generally, it looks good. The transformation itself is overall pretty fun and clever. Again, the only thing is the shoulder pads can get a little annoying, but nothing too egregious and easy to fix if they are really in the way. And you also get a pretty decent, I guess, mechanical shark thing. So yeah, I like it. It's really good. I generally like it. It's a good Voyager. It's a good figure. It's a really one of the better RID updates we've gotten from the recent line, other than the Omega Prime, which he had his own troubles, as you know, probably. But yeah, he's been generally one of the most solid overall. He doesn't have any QC. He doesn't have any QC problems. He doesn't have any problems of the mold itself is kind of iffy. He's not a kind of a repaint that looks nothing like the original. None of that. He generally looks correct. He looks correct. He's a good, solid figure. So yeah, I recommend him. Maybe this is what they're going to turn that Shockwave into. They just won that poll. Got aquatic creature on. So yeah. That's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media down in the description and in the end of the video. Check out my Coffee and my Patreon. I'll see you next time with another video review.